Hello friends, hi. So today we are going to talk about the topic transportation. What is transportation? Why is it essential for the globalization? And what are the recent trends happening in the transportation business, as well as the various processes that are needed, that are required to transfer goods from one point of shipment to another point of shipment. So I would like to first thank Mr. Jim Wayne for helping us to do this project. Without his consent, we won't be able to do this project, and we won't have been given the adequate knowledge as well as understanding of the transportation process, and as well as the latest trends that is happening in the current world with the transportation business. So first, we're going to talk about the shipment process. Sorry about it. So first, we're going to talk about the transportation. What is transportation? According to my understanding, a transportation means movement of ship, movement of goods, persons, anything valuable from one point of the world to the other point of the world, another point of the world, and this helps us to be globally connected, as well as it helps us to reduce cost, open up the market, helps to transfer resources from one point of the shipment to another where the scarcity of resources can be found. This process has been long time ago, like maybe 100 years ago, when people as well as goods used to be moved from one point of the shipment to the other. Let's talk about one of the famous point of transportation that happened during the course of time. That was the Silk Road. The silk used to be shipped from China all the way down to Europe so that the resources can be utilized from one part of the country, one part of the world to another part of the world. So today I'm going to talk more about the shipping process. How do we transport goods from water bodies, as discussed in class before, and various process and documentations that's going to be required to be fulfilled by the consignee or the person who's exporting, or the freight forwarders that's going to help the consignee to ship out the mail or the product from one part of the world to another part of the world. So let's talk about the process. How does the shipping happens? What are the various steps we need to follow, and that should be undertaken so that the goods receive from one point of the world to another point of the world. So first, the goods are being shipped out through a van, a truck, or some of the local transit from the point of manufacture to the origin, to where the warehouse is, the point of origin's warehouse, and then from warehousing it's sent over to the port, the nearest port, where it is being loaded through trucks, through people, through various cranes and stuff, to the ocean freight, that is the ships. Once it's being loaded, it goes for a route from one part of the world, and it stops at various places and to drop off the shipment, and it finally reaches the destination. And once it reaches at the point of destination, a local handler take out the destination, put into their warehouses, and then to the import halting, and then it goes out to the consignee. People would like to shift themselves uh, from doing something by themselves, instead going to a specialist who can reduce their cost, as well as increase their productivity, and as well as helps to explore new markets and develop new things. I would like to conclude on that transportation in today's global economy is one of the most important factor to be surrounded around. Globalization is only possible through various transportation means, and if we put a stop to it or we increase the tariff rate, it's going to be tough for the whole economy. Maybe in short run it might be gainful for some countries, but in long term it's going to be a suffering for the whole world. Thank you guys. Bye. So what are the documents? What else we require for it? So we have to have an export license. The person who is exporting, he needs to be authorized by an authority that he is legally entitled to export products from one port of exit, and he has full knowledge about all the all the rules and regulations that need to be followed by various parties. Then we have to give an origin of certification, that it specifies like what product are being used or manufactured and what percentage of the goods are being manufactured, and where it was being produced, where were the raw material being processed or being produced. Then it's not necessary, but it's not mandatory, but if you want, you can even have an insurance certificate certifying that this product is covered for insurance for a voyage in case any mishappening happens, for example theft, uh, fire, or any cargo damages. And then we have to fill a warehousing receipt, which shows what the documents, what all the things were inside the thing. A Canadian custom invoice that helps the CR, the Canadian custom officer, to know more about the various goods that are being imported from the country or being exported. And then the person who's importing the stuff, maybe a freight forwarder or the importer, he needs to have a license, giving him authority that that he is authorized to get the products from the goods. So now let's talk about the various changing trends that are happening at the moment. So there are the latest trend that's happening is the recent tariff war that's going on between going on between China and the United States, as well as now India. So the Trump administration, they want to impose a heavy tariff rates on the Chinese products, as they feel that it's hurting their economy. And since Trump came in because of the Make in America slogan, so he wants to fulfill his promises of giving more jobs here and cutting off cutting off outsourcing jobs. So to counter this measure, China have also placed an import duty on some of the U.S. products, most recently the soya beans. So what does this mean on the global economy and the transportation business? So since the tariff has been going up, the transportation people would send out less products, and it's gonna be more expensive to buy a foreign product as compared to a home produced product. So that has led to a shift in the transportation, which has led to a decrease in the demand for shipments. So another topic that we're going to talk about is the recent change in the ocean technology shipments. One of the bigger shipping company, they want to shift themselves from a dirty emission of CO2 to a cleaner emission by converting all of their cargo ships to a recyclable energy thing. So that has also impacted us because it's going to decrease the overall cost of shipment, because we're going to use more clearer fuel, which will in turn be supported by various government that can help decrease the cost of transportation. Not even that, there's been lots of third-party logistic providers that's gonna be more forward. For example, the freight forwarders have been quite achieving. The demand for the freight forwarders has been quite in demand.